Banda, after listening to this, sent Valahaka and other 7 commanders along with 300 Akshohini army. These 7 demons are sons of Demonis named Kikasa. In the past they obtained a boon from Sun God that at the time of war Sun would reside in Terais. As soon as these demons entered the battlefield, the Shaktisena army started becoming blindfolded and incapacitated, unable to face the brilliance of their eyes. Demons started becoming ferocious. Immediately the bodyguard of Dandanatha Devi named Thiraskarinika Devi entered the battlefield mounted on an aeroplane named Thamoliptam. At the order of Dandanatha Devi she discharged an arrow named Andanastra, and the 7 commanders were forced to close their eyes. Now Shaktisena started bouncing back. Keeping Thiraskarinika Devi in the forefront, other gods killed the 7 commanders. With this blow Bandasura lost his senses. He called upon his 2 brothers for a discussion. In that meeting it was decided that Vishanga would attack Devi's army from its rear side in a treacherous way. This is called Pashati Grahmu. This decision was taken because they got information from their spies that Lalita Devi was having less army and protection at her rear end, and it was easier for them to approach Lalita Devi directly and attack her, if they approached from the rear. After the first day's war, at dusk, Vishanga with a small army proceeded to the rear of Lalita Devi's army noiselessly without any drums. By then Lalita Devi's army was moving westward. Vishanga along with his army moved northwards and then turned to reach eastern side. He was able to see Sri Chakraraja chariot very near to him. Lalita Devi was looking forward observing the movement of the army. She was not having much army close to her. Taking this opportunity Vishanga attacked Devi's chariot from the rear. All of a sudden, Anima and other gods who were present there were taken back at this sudden attack but quickly recovered themselves and prepared for a counter fight. Exactly at the same time Kutilaksha along with 10 Akshohini army attacked from the front side. Seeing attack from both ends Lalita Devi was a little angry. In the meanwhile, struck by an arrow from Vishanga, the fan present in Lalita Devi's hand fell down and broke. Seeing this Taiti Devatas got very angry. They went and requested Lalita Devi that Vahni Vasini and Jwalmalini Nitya Devas have property and capacity of self-illumination. If they glow then the demons who are in the dark will all become visible. With the permission of Lalita Devi, Vahni Vasini and Jwalmalini Devis started glowing like fireballs. All the demons who were hiding in darkness now became visible. Now the 16 Nitya Devis became outrageous and attacked Vishanga's army. All the commanders in the demons' army died. Wounded all over the body Vishanga fled for his life shamelessly. Even Kutilaksha who attacked from the front also fled. In Lalita Sahasranama, Nitya Prakrama Topaya Nirikshana Samatsuka is equal to seeing the valor of Nitya Devatas. Lalita Devi was very pleased. Mantraini Devi and Dandanatha Devi felt unhappy about this unprecedented attack in the night. They felt very sorry that their arrangements of protection were not up to the mark. Agni Prakara, compound wall made of fire. Both of them went to Lalita Devi, expressed sorry for what had happened and made arrangements for protection. At the instance of Lalita Devi, Jwalmalini Devi made a compound wall of fire around the Devi's army. The fire wall is 100 yojana wide and 30 yojana tall. 1 yojana is approximately 8 miles. At the southern end of fire wall is a 1 yojana long entry, to enable Devi's army to go out and fight because Shunyapuram is facing this end. L.S.N. Jwalmalinika Shipta Vahni Prakara Madhyaga, Stambini Devi, a member of Dandanatha Devi family along with 20 Akshohinai Senas, was protecting this entry point. She is also called Vigna Devi. By then it was dawn. Knowing all this news, Bandasura was in despair and started thinking what to do. This time he sent all his 30 sons for the war. After listening to this news, Lalita Devi's daughter Baladevi wanted to fight these demons herself. Baladevi is the only daughter of Lalita Devi. She resembles Lalita Devi very much but is always only years old. She stays permanently with her mother. Baladevi approached her mother and requested for permission to fight in the battlefield. At the outset Lalita Devi denied, but looking at the courage and willpower exhibited by Bala Devi, she ultimately gave permission. Seeing Bala Devi coming for the war, Mantraini and Dandanayaka were astonished and they stood as her bodyguards. Now Baladevi started ferocious fighting with Vanda's sons. Everyone was surprised at her valor. Whole of the second day Baladevi fought. That evening she shot 30 arrows at a time and killed the 30 sons of Vanda. Lalita Devi was very happy and she embraced her daughter, Banda Putra Vadodukta Bala Vikram Nandita. Banda was grief-stricken. Desperately he himself started off for the war. Vishukra and Vishanga pacified Bandasura. Vignayantra Nashnam, destruction of the mystic symbol of obstacles. Now Banda sent Vishukra to the warfront. In the darkness Vishukra approached the Vahniprakara, firewall. On a flat stone he drew a mystic symbol and performed some black magic. He then threw that mystic symbol forcefully. It fell in the firewall at some point. With the effect of that yantra, mystic symbol, laziness crept into the minds of Devi's army. Some started arguing that war itself was wrong. Some said, why should we fight on behalf of the gods? Some said, who is this Lalita Devi? Who has given her superiorship over us? Some said, if all of us together decline not to fight, what can Lalita Devi do? All of them fell into sleep of ignorance. After midnight Vishukra along with 30 Akshohini Sena surrounded the fire barrier. Even then none of the members of Shakti Sena moved under the influence of the ignorance caused by the Vigna Yantra. However, Vigna Yantra was not able to affect Mantraini and Dandanatha. But they were both very sad, worried seeing the state of their army. Not knowing what to do, they went and inquired Lalita Devi. Then Lalita Devi looked at the Kameshwara's face and passed a gentle smile. From her smile Ganapati took birth. He immediately searched in the firewall and noticed the Vignayantra Shila at one place. He broke the Shila into pieces and powder with his tooth. Kameshwar Mukhaloka Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara Mahagnesh Nirbhina Vignayantra Prahashita. With that Shaktisna's ignorance and sleep was dispelled, they immediately got ready for the war. Now Vigneshwara along with this army came out of the fire barrier and started fighting with Vishukra. Vishukra sent Gajsura to attack him, but soon Gajsura was slain. Seeing this Vishukra ran away. Annihilation of Vishukra and Vishanga. After discussing with Bandasura, Vishukra came back to war, along with his brother Vishanga and son-in-law. With this the third day war had started. Mantraini and Dandanatha both started to fight simultaneously. In the front was Dandanatha Devi mounted on her Kirichakra Ratha with her plough weapon, Halayudha, swirling it rapidly. Behind her was Mantraini Devi mounted on Galchakra Ratha as an archer with bow and arrows. Dandanatha Devi attacked Vishunga. Mantraini Devi confronted Vishukra. Ashwarudh, Sampakari and others attacked the son-in-law of the demons who had come. The army of the demons started slackening. Noticing this, Vishukra discharged Trishastram, weapon which produces thirst. Shatisna's army started to experience intense thirst. Then Dandanatha Devi invited Madhyasmudra, is equal to ocean of liquor, Devatha from her Kirachakra and quenched their thirst. Madhyasmudra Deva showered liquor rains. With that the army quenched their thirst and rejuvenated. By sunset most of the demons including Bhanda's son-in-law had died. Then Shyamala Devi, Mantraini, fought with Vishukra and killed him with Brahmashironmakastra, a powerful weapon named Brahmanshira. Dandanatha Devi, Potrini, killed Vishanga with her plough weapon and pestle. However, in Lalita Sahasranama it is mentioned that Vishukra was killed by Varahi and Vishanga was killed by Mantraini. Mantrainiamba Virchita Vishanga Vadatoshita Vishukra Pranahana Varahai Vyanandita. By then it was past midnight. Only Kutilaksha the commander-in-chief was left over to console Bhandasura. Bhanda along with Kutilaksha started towards the battlefield. 2,185 Akshohini army along with 40 commanders followed him. He boarded a chariot named Avilamu, is equal to dreadful. It is dragged by 1,000 lions instead of horses. B. His sword is named Yatna, is equal to torture in hell. Noticing this, Lalita Devi herself started moving in her Sri Chakra Raja Ratha towards the war front. Behind her was Mantraini in the Galchakra Ratha followed by Potrini in Kirachakra Ratha. Other Shakti deities followed her in crores. In the usage of Sastras, mystic weapons, and Pratyastra, corresponding neutralizing weapons, none of them were drawn aback. LSN, Banda Surendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyastra Varshini, now Bandasura by his mystical powers regenerated Madhukaitpa, Raktabija and other old demons. Then Lalita Devi made a violent frenzied laughter. Durga Devi and other deities described in Chandi Saptashati were born and slayed these demons. Now Bhanda generated Somaka and other demons. Then Lalita Devi generated the 10 incarnations of Vishnu from the fingertips of her hands. LSN Karanduli Nakotpanna Narayana the Skruti. Sun was about to set. Lalita Devi decided not to delay any more. She then discharged Narayana Astra and Pashupat Astra and destroyed the demons and their commanders who were all turned into ashes. Mahapashupat Stragne Nirdagd Hasura Sainyaka. Now Bhandasura was the only one left. Lalita Devi discharged the Mahakameshwarastra and annihilated Bhandasura. Immediately his Shunyak town got burned down. Kameshwarashtra Nirdagdhas Bhandasura Sunyaka. Gods proclaimed victory of Lalita Devi on the drums and they showered flowers, lighted camphor blazes and shouted victory slogans. Kama Sanjeevanam, rebirth of Kama. Brahma, Vishnu, Indra and other gods praised Lalita Devi's grandeur. LSN, Brahmopendra Mahendradi Deva Samstuta Vabhava. In that praise they proclaimed thus, Mother. Banda is dead but his friend Tharaka is still alive to trouble us. B. To annihilate him Shiva must have a son. C. We were trying for the same but in the meanwhile Manmada, god of love, died and all these events happened. D. Therefore kindly give rebirth to Manmada and perform the marriage of Shiva and Parvati. Lalita Devi smiled compassionately and looked at Kameshwara. From her looks Manmada took rebirth. Her netragne sandagdha am sanjeevanoishadi, meaning Lalita Devi is the sacred herb Sajivini which gave rebirth to Manmada who was destroyed by the fire from Shiva's eye. Rati and Manmada prostrated to the mother goddess and praised her. The mother goddess blessed them and instructed, Manmada. Now you need not fear. B. Go once again and cast your magical arrow on Shiva. C. Shiva will lose to you and will marry Parvati. D. With my blessings Shiva will do you no harm. E. From now on you can enter everyone's body and cause aesthetic sensuous pleasures to them. F. Protect my devotees. At the instructions of Mother Goddess Manmada with his family went and cast his magic charm on Shiva. This time Shiva left renunciation and started searching vehemently for Parvati. Then Manmada cast magical arrows on Parvati also. Shiva was very pleased with Parvati's penance. He appeared before her, granted a boon and married her. Kumaraswamy was born to Shiva and Parvati. He became the commander of God's army and annihilated Tharaksura. He then married Devsena Devi, the daughter of Indra. After helping all the gods, Manmada left to Sripura to serve goddess Lalita Devi. Sripura Varnanam, description of Sripura. What does Sripura mean? After the annihilation of Bhandasura, Trimurtis called upon the cosmic architect Viswakarma and the architect of demons Maya, and instructed them to construct 16 palaces in 16 kshetras, sacred places, for the residence of Lalita and Shiva Kameshwara. Meru and other gigantic mountains, 9, Jalsamudra and other oceans, 7, total 16 kshetras. The palatial buildings of Mother Goddess located in these kshetras are called Sripura. Wherever a Sripura is located, its dimensions are like this. 1. Mount Meru has 4 peaks, one on the eastern side, one on northwest, one on the southwest. Each is 100 yojanas tall and 100 yojanas wide. These are Trimurti's worlds. In the center of these is the fourth, which is 400 yojanas tall and 400 yojanas wide. 2. Sripura is on the middle peak. Sripura has got metallic compound walls, 7 in number. They are square-shaped. Each wall is separated from the next one by one a distance of 7 yojanas. 1. Kalyasa, iron, wall. The perimeter of this wall is 16,000 yojanas. 2. Kanashya, bronze, wall. Between these two is the first chamber. Several trees and gardens are located here. Mahakali and Mahakala are the gatekeepers here. Kalachakra is their throne. 3. Tamara, copper, wall. Here is a forest of Kalpavruksha, wish-granting tree. This is also called as Kalpavatika. This is the second chamber. Vasanta, spring, is its protector. Madhasri and Madhavasri are his consorts. 4. Sisa, lead, wall. Here is a forest of Santana trees, progeny granting. This is the third chamber. Grishma, summer, is the ruler. Shukrasri and Shuchishri are his consorts. 5. Arkuta, brass, wall. This is the fourth chamber. Here is a forest of Hari Chandana Vruksha, yellow fragrant sandalwood. The ruler is Varsharutu, rainy season. Nabhasri and Nabsyasri are his consorts. 6. Panchaloha, 5 metal, wall. In this fifth chamber is a garden of Mandara trees, Calotropis gigantea. Sharadratu is the protector. Ishashri and Ujasri are his consorts. 7. Raupia, silver, wall. 6th chamber. Parijta tree forest. Hemantarutu is the protector. Seheshri and Sahasrasri are his consorts. 8. Hema, gold, wall. 7th chamber. Kadamba forest. Sisira, winter, is the protector. Tavasri and Tavasrasri are his consorts. This is where Mantrini Devi resides in a temple. She has one more quarter very close to that of Lalita Devi in Mahapadmatavi, forest of lotuses. When she is on duty she stays in that quarter. In this 7th chamber near Mantrini's residence Mathanga Kanyas are constantly singing and dancing. Mathanga Kanyaka Charitra, story of Mathanga Kanya. In the olden days, a sage named Matanga used to expand the creation by virtue of the power of his penance. 362. His son Matanga was a great saint and practitioner of penance. He was the friend of Himavanata. Once Himavanata started boasting, saying that he was the father of Gauri Devi. With that, Matanga felt humiliated and started great penance for Mudrini Devi. Mudrini Devi is none other than Mankraini Devi, who had received a ring from Lalita Devi. She is also called Shyamala Devi. She was very happy with his penance and gave boon that she herself would be born as a daughter to him. A few days later, Shyamala Devi appeared in the dream of Siddhamati Devi, consort of Matanga. Shyamala Devi gave her a flower from the bunch decorating the former's ear. Very soon she had a female child who was named Lagushyama. As she was born in a very short duration, Lagu is equal to short, small. She was also called Matangi, Matanga Kanyaka. With her power she generated crores of virgins, who stay near Mankraini Devi's house and keep singing her praises all the time. The compounds of precious stones. Inside the golden compound, there are 11 prakaras, compounds, one inside the other, and inside them there are 6 more compounds described hereunder. All these compounds are perfect squares. Here also, the distance between one compound and the other is 7 yojanas. Yojana is a measurement of length of about 9 miles. One Pushyaraga Prakara, the compound of topaz, the area between the golden compound and this one is called Pushyaraga area. Here male and female Siddhas reside. Those who were born earlier in the race of Siddha and who obtained attainment, Siddhi, in their spiritual practices worshipping the Divine Mother, stay here as Siddhas and gladly continue to worship her. 2 Padmaga Prakara, the compound of ruby. Here celestials of the species called Puranas reside. Those who were born in Karna world and worshipped the Mother are reborn here, after attaining her grace. 3 Gomedika Prakara, the compound of agate. In this arena, Kala Sankarshani Devi resides. She is worshipped by the yoginis and bhaivas. 4 Vajra Prakara, the compound of diamonds. Apsaras and Gandharvas, divine dancers and singers, stay in this arena. They are ever engaged in the japa, repetition, of the Divine Mother's names and stay here happily. The river Vajrandi flows in this place. The goddess Vajraswari stays here. When the demon Banda swallowed the diamond weapon, Vajra Ayudha, of Indra, he could get back his weapon by worshipping the Mother here. 5 Vaidurya Prakara, the compound of cat's eye, those of the netherworld, who attained spiritual achievements by worshipping the Mother, stay in this arena. The Emperor Bali also resides here. 6 Indranil Prakara, the compound of sapphire, those people who were born on the earth stay in this area enjoying pleasures, after their worship of Lalita during their lifetime there. Soon after the effect of their punya, merit, is exhausted, they will be born again as human beings on the earth. By the effect of their previous pious deeds, they again worship the Mother and return once more to this pious place. Due to the blue color of these precious stones, the dark effect of likes and dislikes persists in them. Hence they are born again and again. Those who can control their senses to merge in the ultimate state of salvation, i.e., in the Divine Mother, they do not have rebirth. 7 Mukta Prakara, the compound of pearls, several rivers named Tamrapani, Mahapani, Sadamukta, Sadodka etc. flow in this area. The celestials who worshipped the Mother and chanted her mantras stay here. The cities of the rulers of the 8 sides exist here. The 8 sides are east, west, north, south, northeast, southeast, northwest and southwest. 8 Marakata Prakara, the compound of emerald, the abode of the goddess Dandanatha, also called Varahi, exists in this area. There is a garden of golden palm trees here. The goddess Anmata Bhairavi, Swapneswari, Tiraskarini Devi, Kirapte Devi reside in this area. When goddess Dandanatha is on duty, she stays in a separate palace in the forest of Mahapadma, big lotuses. 9 Vidruma Prakara, the compound of coral, in this area, Brahma along with sages like Marika stays and worship the Divine Mother. 10 Manikya Prakara, the compound of gem, this area is also called the Hall of Gems, i.e. Manikya Mantapa. Her Vishnu worships the Mother. 11 Navratna Prakara, the compound of 9 precious stones, in this area exists a huge hall with thousands of pillars. Here Shiva along with his attendants constantly supervises the activities being done as per the orders of Lalita Devi. 12 Manomaya Prakara, the compound of mind, the entire area is a big well of Amruta, nectar. The goddess Tara resides here. Along with her attendants, she rows a big boat and takes her devotees inside along with her. 13 Buddhi Prakara, the compound of the intellect, the entire area is a big well of bliss. The captain of the ship in this arena is the goddess Varuni. She is also called as Sudha Malini and Amriteswari. 14 Ahankara Prakara, the compound of egoism, the entire area is a big well of criticism and nectar. The water of this well is nothing else than the nectar in the nerve Sushumna, the central nerve between Ida and Pingala nerves of one's backbone. The captain of the ship in this area is the goddess Kurukula. 15 Suryabimba Prakara, the compound of the sun, here brilliance comparable to the light of the rising sun exists always. Plenty of flowers called Kuruvinda are abundant here. The sun performed penance here and obtained brilliance. Marthanda Bhaiva stays here. He has a very luminous form. His 3 wives are Mahaprakasa Sakti, Kakshusmati Sakti and Chayada Sakti, the powers of great brilliance, eyesight and shade. 16 Kendrabimba Prakasa, the compound of the moon, moonshine ever exists here. The moon performed penance here and attained illumination. Somnath, the lord of the stars, is the chief deity of this area. 17 Shrungara Prakara, the compound of eroticism, this area is full of waters of eroticism. Here Manmatha, Cupid the god of love, does japa of the mother's sacred names, rowing in a boat. Only those who are of pure mind by nature can cross this area. 18 Chintamani Gruha, the abode of gems, this is the great palace of Sri Chakra. It is called Mahapadmatavi also. Around the mansion, hundreds of thousands of lotus-like palaces exist. To the east of this place, there is a large vessel with a diameter of 1 yojana. This is called Argyapatra, the vessel used to wash hands. B. At the southeast corner exists Siddhagnikunda, the fire pit of knowledge. At the southwest exists Shrikakra Ratha, the vehicle of Shrikakra. At the northwest exists the Gaya Kakra Ratha of the goddess Mantrini. At the northeast exists the Kiri Kakra Ratha of the goddess Dandini. In between the east and the southeast exists Mantrini Gruha, the abode of the goddess Mantrini. In between the east and the northeast exists Dandini Gruha, the abode of the goddess Dandini. The description of the palace of Chintamani 1. This palace is centrally located in Shriptatana, the city of Shri, wealth. 2. The walls of the palace are built with Chintamani gems. 3. The roof also is made of the same stones of Chintamani. 4. The palace has 3 towers by names Aichcha Sikra, Kriya Sikra and Jnana Sikra, i.e. the towers of desire, action and knowledge. 5. The palace has 4 doors. They are called Amnaya Devas. They are Purva, Dakshina, Pasima and Uttara Amnaya Devas, on the east, south, west and north sides. Amnaya means Veda. 6. Bindupita, central seat of power, is centrally located in the palace. 7. This seat of power, Pita, has steps on 4 sides. 8. The entire structure described above is of the design of Shrikakra. 9. All the male and female deities of Shrikakra reside here. 10. The Bindupita is called Shri Pita, Mahapita, Vidyapita and Anandapita also, the seat of prosperity, greatness, knowledge and bliss. 11. On the pedestal exists the court of the 5 Brahmas. 12. The court has 4 legs, namely Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesna and Iswara. These 4 deities have attained female form by worshipping Mother. 13. The plank resting on these legs is Sadasiva. 14. To the east of this court, there are 36 steps, representing the 36 aspects of spiritualism. 15. There is a footrest in front of the court. 16. There is swan-like bed on the court. 17. On the court, there are 2 pillows for the head and 1 pillow for the legs. 18. A light red blanket is spread on the bed. 19. The Lord Kameshwara sits on the court facing the east. He is ever in the form of a 16-year-old boy. He has 4 hands and 3 eyes. He wears erotic costumes. 20. On his lap sits Lalita Devi. She is ever in the form of a 16-year-old girl. Her complexion is rosy. She wears erotic costumes. She has 4 hands. Her decoration is the moon. 21. As she pleases Sadasiva, she is called Lalita, Lalna, to please. Shiva Kamiswarankastha Shiva Swadhina Vallabha Sumeru Madhya Shrungastha Shriman Nagra Naika. Chintamani Gruhantastha Panka Brahmasana Sthita. Mahapadmatavi Samstha Kadamba Vanvasini Sudha Sagra Madhyastha Kamakshi Kamadeni. The above names in the Lalita Sahasra Nama indicate the Srinara, the Chintamani Gruha, the palace of the mother, and her other divine aspects described above. The mother incarnated to kill the demon Banda. She is the supreme mother as per these divine names, will achieve everything auspicious. Mokshada Ekvaresi Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Vishnu, Master of all, O delight of the 3 worlds, O Lord of the entire universe, O Creator of the world, O oldest personality, O best of all beings, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto you. O Lord of lords, for the benefit of all living entities, kindly answer some questions that I have. What is the name of the Ekvaresi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Margashirsha, November to December, and removes all sins? How does one observe it properly, and which deity is worshipped on that holiest of days? O my Lord, please explain this to me in full. Lord Shri Krishna replied, O dear Yudhishthira, your inquiry is very auspicious in itself and will bring you fame. Just as I previously explained to you about the dearest Utpanna Mahadvadasi, which occurs during the dark part of the month of Margashirsha, which is the day when Ekvaresi Devi appeared from my body to kill the demon Mura, and which benefits everything animate and inanimate in the 3 worlds. So I shall now relate to you regarding this Ekvaresi that occurs during the light part of the month of Margashirsha. This Ekvaresi is famous as Mokshada because it purifies the faithful devotee of all sinful reactions and bestows liberation upon him. The worshipable deity of this all-auspicious day is Lord Damodara. With full attention one should worship him with incense, a ghee lamp, fragrant flowers, and tulsi manjaris, buds. O best of saintly kings, please listen as I narrate to you the ancient and auspicious history of this wonderful accuracy. Simply by hearing this history one can attain the merit earned by performing a horse sacrifice. By the influence of this merit, one's forefathers, mothers, sons, and other relatives who have gone to hell can turn around and go to the heavenly kingdom. For this reason alone, O King, you should listen with rapt attention to this narration. There once was a beautiful city named Champakanagar, which was decorated with devoted Vaishnavas. There the best of saintly kings Maharaj Vakanasa ruled over his subjects as if they were his very own dear sons and daughters. The Brahmins in that capital city were all expert in 4 kinds of Vedic knowledge. The king, while ruling properly, had a dream one night in which his father was seen to be suffering the pangs of hellish torture in one of the hellish planets ruled over by the Yamraj. The king was overwhelmed with compassion for his father and shed tears. The next morning, Maharaj Vakanasa described what he had seen in his dream to his council of twice-born learned Brahmins. O Brahmanas, the king addressed them, in a dream last night I saw my father suffering on a hellish planet. He was crying out in anguish, O son, please deliver me from this torment of this hellish condition. Now I have no peace in my mind, and even this beautiful kingdom has become unbearable to me. Not even my horses, elephants, and chariots and my vast wealth in my treasury that formerly brought so much pleasure, gives me no pleasure at all. Everything, O best of the Brahmins, even my own wife and sons, have become a source of unhappiness since I beheld my father suffering the tortures of that hellish condition. So, where can I go, and what can I do, O Brahmins, to alleviate this misery? My body is burning with fear and sorrow. Please tell me what kind of charity, what mode of fasting, what austerity, or what deep meditation, and in service upon which deity I may have to perform to deliver my father from that agony and bestow upon liberation upon my forefathers. O best among the Brahmins, what is the use of one's being a powerful son if one's father must suffer on a hellish planet? Truly, such a son's life is utterly useless, to him and to his forefathers. The twice-born Brahmins replied, O king, in the mountainous forest not far from here is the ashram where a great saint Parvata Muni resides. Please go to him, for he is Trikalajnan, he knows the past, the present, and the future of everything, and can surely help you in your gaining relief from your misery. Upon hearing this advice, the distressed king immediately set out on a journey to the ashram of the famous sage Parvata Muni. The ashram was indeed very big and housed many learned sages expert in chanting the sacred hymns of the 4 Vedas, Aji, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. Approaching the holy ashram, the king beheld Parvata Muni seated among the assembly of sages adorned with hundreds of tilaks, from all the authorized sampradayas, like another Brahma or Vyasa. Maharaj Vakanasa offered his humble obeisances to the Muni, bowing his head and then prostrating his entire body before him. After the king had seated himself among the assembly, Parvata Muni asked him about the welfare of the 7 limbs of his extensive kingdom, his ministers, his treasury, his military forces, his allies, the Brahmins, the sacrificial offerings performed, and the needs of his subjects. The Muni also asked him if his kingdom was free of troubles and whether everyone was peaceful, happy and satisfied. To these enquiries the king replied, By your mercy, O glorious and great sage, all 7 limbs of my kingdom are doing very well. Yet there is a problem that has recently arisen, and to solve it I have come to you, O Brahmana, for your expert help and guidance." Then Parvata Muni, the best of all sages, closed his eyes and meditated on the king's past, present and future. After a few moments he opened his eyes and said, "Your father is suffering the results of committing a great sin, and I have discovered what it is. In his previous life he quarreled with his wife and forcibly enjoyed her sexually during her menstrual period. She tried to protest and resist his advances and even yelled out, 'Someone please save me. Please, oh husband, do not interrupt my monthly period in this way.' Still he did not stop or leave her alone. It is on account of this grievous sin that your father now has fallen into such a hellish condition of suffering." King Vakanasa then said, "O greatest among sages, by what process of fasting or charity may I liberate my dear father from such a condition? Please tell me how I can relieve and remove the burden of his sinful reactions, which are a great obstacle to his progress toward ultimate release, salvation, liberation, going back home." Parvata Muni replied, "During the light fortnight of the month of Margashirsha there occurs an Ekadasi called Mokshada. If you observe this sacred Ekadasi strictly, with a full fast, and give directly to your suffering father the merit you thus obtain, he will be freed from his pain and instantly liberated." Hearing this, Maharaj Vakanasa profusely thanked the great sage and then returned to his palace to perform his vrata, austere rite. O Yudhishthira, when the light part of the month of Margashirsha at last arrived, Maharaj Vakanasa faithfully waited for the Ekadasi Tithi to arrive. He then perfectly and with full faith observed the Ekadasi fast with his wife, children, and other relatives. He dutifully gave the merit from this fast to his father, and as he made the offering, beautiful flower petals showered down from the devas who peered out from behind the clouds in the sky. The king's father was then praised by the messengers of the demigods, devas, and escorted to the celestial region. As he passed his son, as he traversed the lower to middle to higher planets, the father said to the king, "My dear son, all auspiciousness unto you." At last he reached the heavenly realm from where he can again with his newly acquired merit perform devotional service to Krishna or Vishnu and in due course return back to home, back to Godhead. O son of Pandu, whosoever strictly observes the sacred Moksha Ekadasi, following the established rules and regulations, achieves full and perfect liberation after death. There is no better fasting day than this Ekadasi of the light fortnight of the month of Margashirsha, O Yudhishthira, for it is a crystal clear and sinless day. Whoever faithfully observes this Ekadasi fast, which is like Chintamani, a gem that yields all desires, obtains special merit that is very hard to calculate, for this day can elevate one from hellish life to the heavenly planets, and for one who observes Ekadasi for his own spiritual benefit, this elevates one to go back to Godhead, never to return to this material world. Thus end the narration of the glories of Margashirsha Shukla Ekadasi or Mokshada Ekadasi, from the Brahmanda Purana. The Sons of Sagra Chapter 52. The sacrificial horse is let loose. Gemini said, 1. After banishing his son, the virtuous-souled Lord Sagra transferred his love for him to the child Amsumam, whose conduct was righteous. 2. At the very same time, O king, the sons of Sumti grew up collectively. All of them were amiable, devoted and faithful to one another. 3. They had adamantine bodies. They were cruel, merciless and shameless. They were habitually evil in their activities. They had the same nature and characteristics. For they cooperated in doing simultaneously the same work. They were deluded in their minds. They were easily irritable. They could not be easily assailed by any living being. They regularly harassed the people. 5. They had no concern for humility, good conduct or the path of virtue. They harassed the entire world around as they pleased, like asuras. 6. Attacked and tormented by them, the whole world became distressed and unhappy, in particular with yajnas and paths of virtue destroyed. The people could not have their regular self-study of the Vedas, nor could they perform holy rites by uttering the Vasakara mantra. 7. When everything was being completely destroyed by the sons of Sagra, who were haughty on account of the boons they had been granted, the Devas, Asuras and the great serpents became extremely agitated. 8. The earth, overwhelmed by the ocean, began to quake, though its name is Akala, immovable. There was a break and hindrance in the penance and abstract evocation of the ascetics. 9. Depraved of the Havya and Kalva offerings, the Devas and the Pitris became oppressed by great sorrow. They went to the abode of Brahma. 10. After going there, the Devas with Sharva asterisk, probably Shakra, at their head, duly reported to him the entire activities of the sons of Sagra. 11. On hearing their words, Brahma, the grandfather of the worlds, became engrossed in thought for a short while. The most excellent one among the Suras then said, 12. 0. Devas, listen attentively to my words. Welfare unto you. There is no doubt that the sons of Sagra will be destroyed ere long. 13. Wait for a short time. Everything is being controlled by time. Everything else is but an instrumental. That time alone is the master of all. 14. Hence, O excellent Suras, what I am going to say for your welfare should now be carried out by all of you without any slackness. 15. The Holy Lord Kapila, the most excellent among victorious ones, the roost exalted among the leading yogins, is born on the earth with a partial power of Vishnu, for the welfare of the universe. 16. He is now sitting, meditating in a lonely place somewhere in the ocean, the water of which had been sucked up by Agastya. This meditation has been going on for the last 100 years according to the reckoning of heaven dwellers. 17. At my behest, all of you go to the leading sage Kapila. Stand near him wishing for the conclusion of his meditation. 18. At the close of his abstract meditation, you will bow down to him and tell him your purpose in full. He will do what is conducive to your welfare. 19. O excellent Devas, do something whereby a break in the abstract meditation of the sage can be caused through the sons of Sagra. Gemini said, 20. On being told thus by him, the Devas bowed down to Brahma and went to Kapila, the most excellent among the Brahmanas. With palms joined in reverence, they spoke to him. The Devas said, 21. Be pleased with us, O excellent sage. We have sought refuge in you. The whole of the universe, harassed by the sons of Sagra, is perishing. 22. It is well known that you are the cause of the sustenance and annihilation of the worlds. With the partial power of Vishnu, you have incarnated on the earth and you stay here as the leading yogin. 23. A physical body has been voluntarily assumed by you, only for the destruction of the great distress of men afflicted by the 3 types of agony. Indeed, you are the most excellent among those who perform austerities. 24. Undoubtedly, O Brahmana, you are capable, at your will, to mentally create the entire universe, sustain it and annihilate it. 25. You are our creator and dispenser of our destiny. You are our preceptor. You are our greatest resort. You are our protector. Put an end to our adversity. 26. O leading Brahmana, be the resort and refuge of the leading Brahmanas in particular, who reside in the three worlds and who are being persecuted by the sons of Sagra. 27. Indeed, the activities of people like you will be of sattva, very good, nature. Hence, O sage of good holy rites, it behoves you to save us and all the world. 28-31a If not, O holy saint, the entire universe will be destroyed prematurely. Gemini said, on being told thus by all the devas, Kapila slowly opened his eyes. Glancing at there, he spoke these pleasing words, utterly burned by their own actions, the sons of Sagra will surely perish when the proper time arrives. Let that time be awaited by you all. For the achievement of your purpose, O excellent Suras, I shall become the cause of destruction of those evil-minded ones. 31-33 Array long, the sons of Sagra, whose minds are inclined towards sinful activities and whose intellects have been adversely affected by Kala, time, god of death, will be burned by the fire of my anger. Hence, 0 Devas, all the worlds shall be rid of distress. They will have fear from nowhere. Let them, sons of Sagra, be wicked in their actions. They will quickly meet with their annihilation. So be free from fear and go back to your own city. Wait for some time. Thereafter, you will realize what you desire. 34-38 On being told thus by Kapila, all those devas including Indra, became delighted. After bowing down to him they went towards heaven. In the meantime, King Sagra, the lord of the earth desired to perform Vajimedha, horse sacrifice, the great yajna. With the permission of Vasistha, he gathered together all the necessary requisites. Accompanied by Aurva and other Brahmanas he duly took the initiation for the performance of sacrifice. For the purpose of letting the horse roam about, the king of great renown called all his sons and commanded them thus, O my sons, make the horse roam about all round the earth. It behoves you to do this immediately and bring it back to me. Gemini said, 39-43. At the behest of their father they took the horse and made it wander over the entire earth. It was only because of the directive of the Vedic injunction that the horse was made to go round the earth and not for the conquest of the quarters nor for levying taxes and tributes as the whole of the earth had already been conquered by that king. Kings had already been made payers of tributes by that king of exalted heroism in the battlefield. Then those princes reached the lower ground surface of the salt ocean wherein there was no water. With great delight they encircled the horse and entered the interior of the earth. Chapter 53 The destruction of the sons of Sagra. Gemini said, 1 When they reached there, the vine god who had been directed by Indra, carried away the horse to the netherworlds within a moment. 2 Stealing the horse without being seen by any of them, O king, the vine god carried it away along that path to the vicinity of sage Kapila. 3-4 When the horse disappeared, all those princes became perplexed. Searching for the horse, they went round and round the earth. After searching the entire earth including the cities, mountains and forests, they attained great sorrow because they were still unable to see the sacrificial animal. 5 Then they went back to Ayodhya, surrounded by the sagas, met their father, bowed down to him and initiated to him everything. 6 The moment we entered the ocean after wandering over the whole of the earth, the horse was taken away by someone though it was being vigilantly guarded by us who were on the watch. 7-8 On being told thus by them the excellent king became infuriated and told them, Go away hence, unrighteous ones, never to return again. How was it lost by you, while you were alive? You were indeed evil-minded ones. There is no question of your returning without the horse here. 9 Then all of them together set out from that place and said to one another, Even now the horse is not to be seen, what shall we do? 10 The whole of the earth was searched by us, including the mountains, forests and parks. The horse is not seen anywhere nor its news is heard. 11 Hence, starting with the ocean and extending as far as the netherworlds, we shall split the earth and dig it. We shall enter the netherworlds and search for the horse. 12 Having decided thus, all those sons of Sagra, of cruel resolve, dug the earth everywhere beginning with the seashore. 13 Being dug by them, the earth became greatly excited and cried aloud. On seeing their activity, all living beings cried in distress. 14 After digging the Bharatha subcontinent and casting it off on the ground, they united 1,000 yojanas of the earth to the ocean. 15 Digging the earth up to the netherworlds, the sons of the king saw the horse grazing in the netherworlds. I6 Delighted very much they gathered together and laughed out of contentment. Some of them danced with great joy. 17 to 21 They saw the noble soul Kapila of brilliant luster who was very old, who was seated in the lotus posture, with his eyes fixed yet at the tip of his nose, who had kept the head and neck straight and long, who had kept the chest projecting forward, who was shining with his own splendor radiating all round in full like a lamp placed in a windless spot, whose body was full of perfect knowledge shining within himself, whose mind was engaged in abstract meditation, who appeared like the motionless ocean, who was duly engaged in the yogic exercise, whose mind was engrossed in what should be meditated upon, who was the most excellent among leading yogins and who looked like the fire with its clusters of flames extinguished. On seeing him staying there, they consulted one another about him for a short while. For a short while, they underwent excessive agitation. 22 to 23 Thinking that it was he who stole the horse, the evil-minded sons of Sagra, induced by the god of death, surrounded Kapila, the excellent sage. Encircling him they said, This is the thief, there is no doubt about it. This evil-minded robber of the horse deserves to be killed by us. Gemini said, 24-27a. All those Sagras whose intellect had become deluded and whose death was imminent, suddenly molested the sage who was sitting like an ordinary person. Then sage Kapila, who had never been dejected in mind, was overwhelmed with wrath, because he had been upset due to the break in his abstract meditation. He was agitated. Assailed by those evil-minded ones, the unassailable sage Kapila became agitated. He assumed a huge size like the fire that increases in size at the end of the kalpa on account of the gusts of wind. 27b30a. The fire of anger arising out of his body as vast and majestic as the ocean, burst forth like the Sankarshana fire issuing from the poison of Sesha out to burn down the netherworlds. His anger was further kindled by the recollection of attack. The sage, who had a luster similar to that of a wheel of fire, i.e. whirling fire, opened his eyes. Then for a moment, O king, his eyes became extremely red and shone like the sun and the moon simultaneously appearing in the sky at dawn. 30b35. He looked at the princess with rolling eyes gravely, like the god of annihilation at the close of Kalpa period. Sparks and flames of fire suddenly emerged from the eyes of that infuriated sage and spread all round in various directions continuously, like the sparks of Kalagni, destructive fire at the time of final annihilation. The sparks of fire of the sage's anger pervaded the quarters all round, with columns of smoke projecting forward and emitting floods of sparks frequently. The sparks emanating from his eyes like the poisonous flames with the cavity of the belly of a python, shone like the flames of the Vadva fire, submarine fire, of the violent ocean. The fire of anger, O great king, that pervaded the spaces in the quarters by means of its flames, enveloped the firmament and burned the sons of Sagra. 36 The world became enveloped by the clusters of flames of fire and smoke whirling round and round on account of the angry, i.e. violent, blasts of wind that blew with a loud report. It became filled with the dusts of the earth too, that were blown up excessively. Hence, the world became too much afflicted. 37 All round, the fire appeared to be scraping the firmament by means of its flames struck by the velocity of wind. It immediately burned down completely the sons of the king who were the enemies of the Suras. 38 Even as all the worlds were watching, the fire of Kapila's anger reduced the Sagras to ashes completely, sparing only the horse. 39 Thus the sons of Sagra, of sinful mind, were burned suddenly on account of that fire of anger like the dry trees that get consumed in the forest conflagration. 40 On seeing the annihilation of those evil-minded Sagras, the Devas spoke to one another in wonder, along with the sages. 41 to 42 The ultimate bad result of those persons who have committed terrible sins has not been delayed. Indeed, in this world, men of wicked souls have to meet with a bad end. These wicked and cruel-minded persons, huge in size like mountains, have suddenly and forcibly perished like dry grass in fire. 43 They had caused anxiety and torture to all living beings. They were extremely censured by good men throughout their lives. Fortunately, they have met with their destruction. 44 Which man can attain happiness in this world after committing an inauspicious action that is censured by the worlds and that causes harassment to others? 45 These sinners had made all living beings cry aloud. They have now been struck dead by means of Brahmadanda, the punishing rod of a Brahmanda. Hence, on account of their own evil actions, they have gone to hell where they will be spending many years. 46 Hence, only good actions should be performed by intelligent persons. The other type of actions censured by the world should be cast off far away, i.e. completely avoided. 47 As long as one is alive, one should strive for the attainment of final beatitude. This should be done by one who knows what is good for him. One should not harm or injure anyone, as life is transitory. 48 This body is non-permanent. Riches are extremely fickle. The entire worldly existence is utterly worthless. How may the learned one believe, otherwise? 49 Even as the leading suras and sages were telling one another thus, the sons of Sagra perished after becoming the fuel to the fire of the anger of the sage. 50 The sons of Sagra whose bodies were burnt down suddenly, as if paralyzed the earth with their ashes and instantaneously fell into hell due to their sinful deeds. 51 After burning those sons of Sagra entirely, the fire arising from his anger was on the point of burning all the worlds suddenly in a moment. 52 The Devas who became frightened gathered together and stood by in the firmament. Being desirous of suppressing the fire of anger, they eulogized the noble-souled sage. Chapter 54 Recovery of the Sacrificial Horse. Gemini said, It behoves you, O leading Brahmana, to restrain immediately this fire of anger. If not, the entire universe is likely to be burnt by it untimely, Your greatness has been seen. The whole world, including the mobile and the immobile beings, has been pervaded by this fire of your anger. Forbear, please restrain this anger, O leading Brahmana. Obeisance to you. On being eulogized thus, the saintly Kapila immediately controlled the extremely terrible fire of anger. Thereupon, the entire universe, including the mobile and the immobile beings, became calm. Devas and the ascetics became free from distress. In the meantime, the saintly Rishi Narada, O king, casually went to Ayodhya from the Devaloka, the world of the Devas. On seeing that Narada had arrived, Sagra worshipped him perfectly in accordance with the injunctions of the scriptures, with arghya, padya and other materials of worship. Accepting that honor and worship, Narada sat on the exalted seat and spoke these words, O king, to Sagra the tiger among kings. Narada said, Your sons who had gone to take horse around the world, O excellent king, have been struck down by the curse of a Brahmana. All of them have perished. Your sacrificial horse, O king, that was being guarded by all of them was taken somewhere in the heaven without being noticed by anyone, as ordained by fate. They began to search for the lost horse all over the earth. For a long time, O king, they did not get any information of its whereabouts. Thereupon, they decided to search for the horse underneath the earth. Beginning earnestly, those Sagras dug up the surface of the earth. While digging the earth, O king, they saw the horse in Patala, netherworlds, and near it they saw the great sage Kapila, the leading yogin. On seeing him, they committed a sinful deed. All of them being urged by Kala, god of death, saying, This is the robber of the horse, they made Kapila sufficiently infuriated. Thereupon, your sons perished with their bodies as fuel to the fire emanating from his eyes and caused by his anger, the fire that burned the quarters. You need not grieve over them. It does not behove you to grieve over them, O leading king, because they were cruel, of sinful conduct and were creating troubles and impediments to all people. Retain your courage as your asset. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.